Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Bosu and there's a game coming out. It's called Ace Attorney. Oh wait, no, this is the other game. They both come out on the same day. It's Samurai Warriors 5. I'm very excited for this game. This game has been around for like a decade. I first found Dynasty Warriors on a PSP console that like 2 people played, and that was about Chinese warlords. This is Samurai Warriors. This is about the samurai. This one is gonna be focused on Nobunaga. Nobunaga is the main dude, and we will talk about him and everyone else that involved in this game, involving him briefly, because there's like almost 30 people. I'm not gonna dive into their life, okay? I'm just gonna say like the most interesting thing that I can remember right now. I'll be talking about them one by one through like the order on the website. So first is Nobunaga. Nobunaga, he is rebellious, hates the shogun. He doesn't care about authority. He's a weirdo. He was called a fool, but later on in his life he was called the Demon King because he is fucking crazy, man. He is cruel, he is brutal, he don't care what you are, who you are, he will kill you. One interesting thing is that so you know those sake cups, the tiny cups? He had 3 very special cups made from the skulls of human beings. What? One belongs to Ashikaga, one of the supporting characters in this game. The second cup was his brother-in-law and his brother-in-law's father. Bro, yuck. I mean, back in the day, you know, having your head is a trophy, which is disgusting. The most, you know, well-known thing about him is his death. So there's this incident called the Honoji incident. So he is in Honoji. He wants to chat with the Mori clan. So he has a royal page called Ranmaru Mori, not that Mori, different Mori, okay? And this boy, by the way, Ranmaru Mori, he's like a loyal page, but he's implied to be like a boy toy, which is common for samurais back then, okay? Don't worry about it. He sent one of his generals, Mitsuhide. He sent him to the west side. Mitsuhide be like, oh, but the enemy is you, bitch. And the enemy is at Honoji, he said. His own troops, you know, to kill Nobunaga. And Nobunaga was like, oh hell no. So he said, yo, Ranmaru, don't let them inside, okay? Cover the place. And then he seppuku himself. And Ranmaru was like, oh my god. He covered the place, set the place on fire. Ranmaru died. Nobunaga died. They didn't find his body. Having your head is a trophy. Mitsuhide didn't get that, so Mitsuhide didn't win anything. Especially because he literally died the next week. Let's talk about Mitsuhide for a second. So who is Mitsuhide? Nobody knows why Mitsuhide betrayed Nobunaga. Some sources think that, you know, Nobunaga's like, oh, Mitsuhide, if I get too brutal, if I'm too cruel, if I'm too evil for this world, kill me. It might have been because some consequence of Nobunaga's actions caused his mom to die. There's some places saying, you know, Nobunaga threw a plate on the floor. Nobunaga roasted him in front of people. Nobody knows the actual reason why he did it. He was like, oh, he ran, he tried to run, but the next person killed him, and that's Hideyoshi. Hideyoshi Hashiba is in this game. He's more known as Hideyoshi Toyotomi. He was a peasant, and he was also weird. He was one of the people in charge of like attacking the Mori clan during the Honoji thing. And when he heard Mitsuhide had betrayed Nobunaga, and he was like, what the fuck? And Hideyoshi was like with the Mori clan, and he's like, yo, Mr. Mori, can we call truce? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then he went to kill Mitsuhide, found him like the next week, and then he did the deed, you know. Next in line basically was him. He did like so much shit. And he was making this campaign to take over Korea. It wasn't working, so he made this group of like 5 old dudes. He called it Council of 5 Elders. The purpose of this group was like, okay, I have this 5-year-old kid. You all need to raise him to take over my place, to take over the clan, and continue our campaign, okay? And they were like, okay, sure, whatever. We're old, okay, we're dying. Hideyoshi dies, and Tokugawa was like, so wait, what, son? So next we're talking about Ieyasu Tokugawa, who was like, I don't know if he's just as cruel or crueler, more cruel than Nobunaga. If you have the word Toyotomi in your name, you did. He literally, there was the dude that like roasted him like years ago when he was a kid, and they met again, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you too though. So he holds a grudge. He's very smart. He can manipulate people to do what the hell the f he wants. He, you know, Hideyoshi dies, Tokugawa is like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1,000 daimyos. Okay, all the daimyos will follow me. And they did. And like I said, if you had the word Toyotomi in your name, you are dead. He would hunt you down. When he was with Nobunaga, he made sure not to betray him. He knew how to be loyal. He knew what the people wanted. You know, when Hideyoshi was making his Korea campaign, he was like, nah bro, keep my troops out of it. And now Tokugawa wins everything. He starts the Tokugawa shogunate, which literally lasted like 200 years. Can see who's the winner here, but he's such an ass. So Nobunaga ordered to kill his wife. He was like, yeah, okay. We'll talk about his wife later because his wife is actually in the game. But next we're gonna talk about Yoshimoto Imagawa. So Yoshimoto Imagawa, there's not too much about him. He was more, you know, in like the early days of Nobunaga, I guess. He was born Yoshimoto, he changed his name, then he changed back to Yoshimoto. He had some family drama and he became the head. So the girl that Nobunaga ordered Ieyasu to kill, his wife, Yoshimoto, is her uncle, who Ieyasu was like, yeah, okay, I'll kill her because Nobunaga asked me and I'm loyal. But he is involved with like the Takeda clan, the Hojo clan, through like marriages and stuff. But that was basically all he did. He didn't really get to do much with Nobunaga, you know. So Ieyasu was working for him, was serving him first, which is why he married his niece. So next we have Shingen Takeda now. Shingen Takeda, you must stand this man, okay? By pride, he's openly bi, he love you got a ding dongs, give it to me. You got a boings, okay, give it to me. And he was a hoe. And we'll combine his story with the next person's story, which is Kenshin Uesugi. This Takeda and Kenshin, okay, they're rivals. Shingen is known as the Tiger of Kai because he's the Kai and he looks like a tiger. Kenshin is the dragon of Ichigo, because from Ichigo. And these two rivals, they have this very famous series of battles called the Battle of Kawa Nakajima. But of all the things that I researched, this is probably like the most wholesome thing I've seen in the research of the brutality of these historical events. Right, they're enemies, but they are rivals and they understand each other. They have tactics against each other. They, you know, Kenshin had a formation where he would swap the front to the back so that, you know, he swapped because the energy tire, you know, swap the energy. Shingen had a very interesting strategy that we'll talk about in a second, but they had like a respect for each other. They liked each other. They were a gang. So Shingen ended up dying first. He died at 49 years old, apparently after being either from a wound, like an older wound, or being sniped while he was listening to the enemy's music. And Kenshin heard about it. Kenshin, by himself, he cried. He said, I lost a rival. There's not gonna be a hero like him anymore. And Shingen was smart too. He was a good strategist. Ieyasu was working for Nobunaga. He's taking over the place. Shingen was the only one who could fight back. They were losing and they were like, yeah, there's GTFO. Ieyasu actually took a lot of his strategies and used it for his shogunate. Takeda, you know, Shingen's clan, was buddy with the Hojo clan. You know, they broke off and the Hojo clan got salty. So they said,
we're salty, so let's stop sending salt to them.
And Kenshin was like, Kenshin gave his enemy, he gave Shingen salt, and he said, Hojo clan's mean, bro. Can you imagine in an era of bloodshed and war, one dude's like,
they didn't give you salt? That's so mean, you know? They're being bullies.
But Kenshin, he had to continue fighting, and he did end up dying from apparent stomach cancer. He doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have a missus. He has two sons that are not his, they're adopted. And when Kenshin died, they were screwed, man. Nobunaga was like, okay, I'm taking advantage of that, and then he took over, and then Nobunaga wins again. But one interesting thing about Kenshin though, he might have been a lady. First of all, gender roles are stupid. So he really liked calligraphy or poetry, which were more feminine things, especially back in those days, which I guess. But he also was very pretty. He was known to be very pretty. His stomach cancer was apparently uterine cancer, maybe. Shingen's tactics that I referenced earlier, every 10th of the month, Kenshin would get very, very, very bad stomach cramp.
You know what I'm saying?
Kenshin was a bit homosexual, you know what I'm saying? And so there's this written text. It's from the Spanish Civil War or something. It's by this guy called Gonzalez, alright? And he's sending it to Prince Philip, not King Philip, okay? And in this text, he talks about Kenshin and his sister and the sister's kid. When he references Kenshin, he says Tia. Kenshin is the kid's Tia. Tia is aunt in Espanol, whether he was or not. So we'll move on to the next person, which it looks like is Motonari Mori. So Motonari Mori was kind of like before Nobunaga's time, kind of. The only reason he's here is because like he's famous, so he's one of the best of the best, especially when it comes to strategic tactics, okay? So he's the Mori clan. He's working with the Ochi clan. He fights with the Ochi clan. Ochi clan fighting with Amago. He fights with the Amago clan, okay? He's fighting with these two, but he's maintaining himself and he's very balanced, okay? He knows how to balance things very well. He's really only here because of his face, because of his name. Next on the list is Nagamasa Azai. So Nagamasa Azai is one of Nobunaga's cubs, the brother-in-law. So Nagamasa Azai, he kind of never really liked Nobunaga. He married Oichi for political reasons. So his clan, the Azai clan and the Asakura clan, were close, were bros, okay? After he married Oichi, so that he can be loyal to the Nobunagas, and eventually came to a point where he's like, I think they were under attack at some castle. Azai was like, yeah, this is a lost cause. There's no way we can win. So he's like, okay, Nobunaga, take my wife, your sister, my 3 daughters, take them. I'm a kombi seppuku, and he kombi seppuku in the castle. And Nobunaga's like, alright, yo sis, Oichi, where's the son? I know you got a son, a baby son. Where is he? I'll take care of him. I'll raise him to be a warrior. Okay, where is he? And Oichi's like, over there. And Nobunaga freaking kills him and like freaking puts his head on a freaking stake. And in a way, it was kind of Oichi's fault. So I'll just talk about Oichi. When Azai was making a plan, so his plan was to attack Nobunaga from both sides, party in the front, party in the back, okay? And she sent like a sack of beans, and she tied the 2 ends of the, so it is a sack, like a cloth. She tied both ends and she sent it to her brother, and her brother's like, oh, this is telling me that Azai is gonna attack from both ends of my freaking base. They GTF'd out of there. They knew. She eventually gets married to another character in this game, Katsuie Shibata, who is another one of Nobunaga's very loyal generals, and he's also in this game. And she seemed to really like her husbands, both of them, but she freaking hates Hideyoshi, apparently. Eventually, Katsuie Shibata has to seppuku, and he was like, okay, wife Oichi, take the kids and run. And she was like, now hubby, I must send the kids off and die with you. So that's how she died, and now her kids are with Hideyoshi. So next on the list is Hisahide Matsunaga. He is a sneaky dude, okay? He never liked Nobunaga, and he was with like the Miyoshi people. Some people call Miyoshi. He would make tea for Nobunaga. Like at some point he had to be under Nobunaga, and he was like, I'll make you tea, but I want some of this tea. And Nobunaga was like, oh yeah, I want a tea. He was just distracting Nobunaga basically, so that the Miyoshi and whoever else that's not Nobunaga can like kill Nobunaga. Nobunaga's like,
You think I'm stupid?
he had to commit seppuku as well, and he was like, yeah, you ain't taking my freaking bowl. So he smashed his tea bowl, he smashed his teacup, okay? Nobody can take his teacup. He had a brother. He and his brothers, 2 brothers, all died in the same day. He was like, okay bro, I'm gonna smash my teacup on the floor. I don't want him to have my head, because a head is a trophy. And the brother was like, alright, take your head. He took his head, took a sword, stabbed himself in the neck, and jumped off a bridge. I'm like, dude, that's some hardcore parkour right there with a freaking head and a sword in your neck. Next on the list is No, which is Nobunaga's wife. When she sees Nobunaga, she was like, no. They didn't really love each other. He had a missus called Kitsuno. No was infertile, so she couldn't have babies. Nobunaga was like, yo, Kitsuno, have my baby and give the baby to us so that we can have a baby. And during the Honoji incident, it is believed that she died there, but some people think that she survived and left. So there was this group of girls that were rescued and brought to somewhere else, and there was this very specific lady called Azuchi, and some people think that she's No in disguise, or maybe she changed her name and went to somewhere and died of illness or something. Next on the list is Mitsuki. Mitsuki is not a real person. I tried to search, she ain't real. So Toshie Maeda is the next name. So Toshie Maeda doesn't really have too much to him. Honestly, his wife is way more interesting than him. He was Nobunaga's general, and then after Nobunaga died, he was Katsue Shibata, Oichi's second husband, general. And he and Toshie, along with Tokugawa and the other 3 guys, they were part of the old man group, the council of the 5 elders that was supposed to take care of Hideyoshi's kid. He came with the seppuku a year after Hideyoshi died because he was like, I ain't doing this. Yo, Tokugawa, do whatever you want. I can't do this. And he yeeted out of there. But his wife is actually more famous than him. His wife has a way more interesting story. She's an independent woman. She don't even need him. She would roast him so that he would fight harder and win. He would win because she was roasting him at home. Su was very close with Hideyoshi's wife. So Hideyoshi's wife is Nene. She's not in this game, and they were close. And so when Nene and Hideyoshi were having their ceremony, their little ceremony wedding, and there was a seat beside Nene, and that's a very prized seat. That's the seat next to like the general and the general's wife. And she was like, this is my seat though. This is my seat. She knew how to use her words. She was very strong politically, okay? But after her husband separated himself, family drama, you know, her families were all, her children were all over the place. So she just kind of stayed low by herself. So next on the list is Katsue Shibata, which I mentioned that he is Oichi's second husband. Katsue Shibata, he was under Nobuyuki Oda, which is Nobunaga's brother, because Shibata had to be under Nobunaga now because Nobunaga had his own brother executed. So Katsue was like, okay, I pledge my allegiance to you, Master Nobunaga. So the next one on this list is Toshimitsu Saito. For once, someone's working under Mitsuhide Akechi. But finally, Mitsuhide has a servant, okay? He has this retainer called Saito. Nobunaga was like, did you just fucking take Mitsuhide's side? And Saito was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm gonna kill you, bro. How dare you disobey me when you wanna go to him? And Mitsuhide was like, shh, Nobunaga, shh, it's okay. So at the Battle of Honoji, he's one of the ones that's like leading the charge. At some point, he gets captured, executed. That's literally all. That's all with him. The next one on the list is Shikanosuke Yamanaka. He is another one of those people where there's not too much information that's like famous about him. Earlier when we talked about the Mori, Matonari Mori with the Amago clan, he was like gang with the Amago clan. He got teamed up with Nobunaga, and Nobunaga was only using him to get closer to the Mori clan. And he was alone, and then Mitsuhide and Hideyoshi, they all like, should we help him? Like, should we send like reinforcements there? Should we help him? Nobunaga was like, no. And so he died. He got assassinated. Hideyoshi was like, what the fuck, bro? Red flag. Next is Hanbei Takenaka. Hanbei Takenaka has been in the game for a while. Yamanaka and Saito were new characters to this game, and there's not much to him either. He died of a disease. He's a very smart boy. He's very good strategist. After he died, his son took over his roles in fighting in the war. He served under Hideyoshi. He died young. The next person on the list took over. His name is Kanbei Kuroda, which is the strategist after Hanbei died. Kanbei came in. So he was under Hideyoshi first, but at the final battle, he was basically he was with Tokugawa instead of Hideyoshi. He was very religious, and his name was like Don Simeon or something. But he was a thrifty boy. He was thrifty. He don't spend money. The next one is a new character called Kazuji Nakamura. Again, not a person with much info out there. He did fight in Honoji. I think he survived. He was also under Hideyoshi, by the way. So the next one is Sena. Sena is Tokugawa's wife. So she's Yoshimoto's niece. So she was called Sena before she married Tokugawa, and she was known as Lady Tsukiyama. Wow, fancy. But apparently she had a conspiracy about her. So she was like tattletaled on to, apparently she sent letters to kill her husband and his lord Nobunaga. That's when Nobunaga was like, hey Tokugawa, you know your wife? Yeah, kill her please, because she's trying to kill us. And he's like, I got this. Ninjas! Wanna help? Kill her? Hanzo was like, the f no. And her son was also killed later, like seppuku later, because Tokugawa was like, he's gonna grieve his mother and take revenge. I must kill him also. So next is Tadakatsu Honda. He's not really one of the ones that has like the history of like, wow, he's so evil, or wow, he's so, look at his things he did in war. He was just like samurai to call him. He was a
Man, he was a real man.
there was rumors around saying he don't got a single wound on him. His armor is like famous. He has this like freaking deer helmet. He was like a tough dude, and that was what he was known for. He was just known for being a dude of the dudes. Like they would literally call him this. He's the warrior who surpasses death, dude. So Honda was under Ieyasu, and Shingen was like, yo, this is a luxury service, dude. Next is Hanzo Hattori. So he's the guy that I mentioned just now, where Tokugawa was like, yo, can you help me kill my wife? And he's like, hell no. He, they call him a demon. He was smart. He was a ninja. He was in the Iga. He was part of the Igas. Okay, he was one of the basically the top 3 jonin. He would lead like hundreds and hundreds of ninjas, and so was the next guy, Sandayu Momochi. So Sandayu Momochi, he's one of the ones that really doesn't have information about him. He's real. He's 100% real. His real name nobody knows yet. He apparently mentored Hanzo, and they were both Iga ninjas, not the Yiga clan. Iga ninjas. So the next is Takakage Kobayakawa. His info is more of like general ramble, with him kind of in there. He was under Hideyoshi after Hideyoshi defeated Katsuie Shibata. He was known as a chill dude. Oh, by the way, he's also Motonari's kid. And he was actually Kobayakawa. He was going to be in the gang of old guys, the Council of the Five Elders, but he died just before. Which, by the way, the Rambles is just him and like Kenshin and some other people had an alliance. And this thing happened, somebody died, this thing happened, somebody died, this thing happened, Kenshin died, this thing happened, another person died. It's just a ramble of this cycle, and he's just happened to be there. So the next one is Magoichi Saika, which this one is a bit interesting. So Magoichi Saika isn't a dude, he's multiple dudes. So the character that they use in the game is like a mixture of 3 guys, which is 1 dude and his 2 sons. Magoichi Saika is more like the like a title. Their logo is a Yatagaratsu. They all did different things. So there were 3 of them did different things. The main one they used was like I think the first son, and he was like a rebel. There was the Ika rebels that like freaking hated Nobunaga or something, and they were allied with them, and they were known for like their guns and all. So the final one is Yasuke. Now this is the one where I'm sure a lot of people were like, wait, what? You don't see not Japanese people there. And Nobunaga was also surprised. Yasuke, nobody knows exactly where he's from. He's from Africa somewhere. There's multiple different theories of where he's from. Nobody really knows his real name. So he was like a slave for some Italian dude, and they were like selling merchandise. They were like on the road selling like merch, and Nobunaga was there, and Nobunaga was like, you look strong, who you be? And one of the theories is that he's a Yao, part of the Yao people, which is why his name Yasuke. There's other theories of that his name is Yasufe, and they were like, Yasuke do? He ended up being called Yasuke by Nobunaga, and Nobunaga liked him. Nobunaga was like, okay, I want you to join me. Okay, take off your clothes. Like in the street, take off your clothes. Okay, he takes off his clothes. Nobunaga's alright, clean this guy. And they were cleaning him. They're washing Yasuke. And Nobunaga's like, wait, why is your skin still dark? And Yasuke's like, because my skin's dark, bro, duh. And Nobunaga, when I say he don't discriminate, he will kill women and children. He don't discriminate against race either. He was like, your skin's dark? I've never seen that before. Can you join my gang? To Yasuke in, and he loved Yasuke. He was BFF with Yasuke. People are not sure how they communicated. They don't know if Yasuke was very fluent in Japanese. They don't know if they spoke in maybe Chinese, some Chinese language, but they were bros. Nobunaga loved him. He was also very prominent in the Honoji incident. He fought in the Honoji incident. He did end up surviving, so he escorted Nobunaga's brother or his son to safety, and they ended up taking him. They brought him to some church, and he was never heard from again. Whether he lived out his life, because nobody's ever heard from him since. Also, there's a Netflix anime called Yasuke about Yasuke. I would recommend the 6 episodes. I would recommend the first 4. Don't watch the last 2. The last 2 suck. They kind of reference this history, and Yasuke is one that's not talked about often. So he's not just a character to be like, oh, they want to put a black character because they want to be political, okay, they want to be socially acceptable, so they put a black guy inside. No, he was real. Yasuke was a real samurai that was African. I'm sure I missed some points. So that's all the characters in the game. Well, the main playable characters. There's 10 supporting characters that I won't get into. Yeah, I'm sorry for this very, very bad video. I hope like maybe you learn a little bit about some of these characters and the
Horrible things that they've done.
I'll be streaming the game. For now, goodbye and peace.